These days, there's a lot of arguments when it comes to sport, where boys decide they want to turn into girls, then compete against girls, and then absolutely dominate. And that got me thinking, gender identity is never really an issue when the competitors can't talk.
We all know the average fit and healthy 20-year-old man is faster than the average fit and healthy 20-year-old woman. Look, it says so here in my books. Even in racehorses, the colts, stallions and geldings are generally, though not always, considered to be faster and stronger than their female counterparts. So often, at the biggest race events, each sex will have their own race category.
In racing pigeons, both sexes race against each other all of the time.
I've always thought that the male racers would be faster than the females. After all, the widowhood cock system, where only the males are raced, seems to have been dominating club racing for decades. So when I asked on the How to Train Your Pigeon Facebook page which is faster for you, the hens or the cocks, the answer was a shock, even to me.
So to settle that question, who's fastest, the boys or the girls, I'm going to do a little experiment. We're going to hold a 96-mile race using 2 teams of racing pigeons. 15 cocks against 15 hens. Ready? Can't get the latch open. I'm giving them a head start. It's a great way to ruin a good experiment.
Luckily for us, this is just a training run, with the real race a few days away, where we'll be sending the teams the 96 miles to Darlington in northern England, then they'll race back to our home loft in Nottinghamshire, next door to Sherwood Forest. For an added bit of fun, comment below now before the race starts and watch to the end to see if you were right.
Look at these. So I wanted some of these because they've got individual compartments, and all of the good flyers in my club seem to have them. And you can put the birds there individually, and they were a bargain. And I've got one more to pick up, so. Oops. That's not going to be as stylish a shot as I thought.
We've got a pretty even split of age ranges and winning birds on both teams. Here is 1998, who I've nicknamed Zidane because he's headstrong. Racing on the boys' team, Zidane 98 is a 3-year-old cock and has some impressive results to date. He's twice come third in the Fed and won the NRCC section from Dunbar, 201 miles away. He's also scored 13th Fed from Berwick out of 1,004 birds and 19th Fed from Aycliffe from 1,535 birds. Another 3-year-old but racing for the hens is Darlow 94, named after this very race point, after she came first in the Fed as a young bird. She also has a 2nd place Fed position and only raced once as a 2-year-old. Here's another good bird, a 2-year-old cock from Belgium, 141. He's done well at the longer races, scoring 14th Federation from Thurso, 384 miles away, and 14th Federation from Berwick, 180 miles. Then there's this feisty little hen, 320 from Charlie, who, despite coming 5th in a Federation race from Hexham once upon a time, now won't hold still for the camera. Is that a good sign? Both teams are fresh at the start of the season, and we haven't really got going with the widowhood system yet, which would typically favour the boys. Also, the hens aren't trying to pair up, which they often do as the season progresses, unless your loft is set up in such a way as to prevent it. So this is as good a time as any to start this experiment.
Stressy for them. I've not really thought about that. But we're doing it now, so.
As you might expect, cocks tend to be more aggressive than hens, so the idea with this type of box is it gives the boys their own space to keep calm whilst they're transported to the club, where they're promptly put back in with a load of other strange males anyway. Not sure about that one. Now, for those new to the sport of pigeon racing, my birds will be racing against 1,500 other birds. They'll all be transported to the starting point together on a special lorry. That lorry will drive around all the clubs in the area, collecting birds from the fanciers like me, who are members of clubs like this. Each bird is scanned into the race, and then they'll be scanned at the finish line, which is their home. The morning of the race and the sky is blue, the wind is light southwesterly, and conditions are almost perfect. Here on the outskirts of Sherwood Forest, I'm up early, ready for the big day. But first I have to let my old mentor, Charlie, know what's happening. Otherwise, I won't get a cup of tea on my next visit.
Hi Charlie.
Hello.
Hello. It's 9:55 southwest wind.
9:55.
Yeah.
Okay, so the birds were liberated at 9:55 AM into a light southwesterly wind. So we're expecting them back any minute now. Race mornings are filled with excitement, but there's also time to relax and have a bite to eat. But recently, that's been spoiled by a string of poorly made pork pies.
Little special, obviously. Deluxe hand crimped Melton Mowbray pork pie. Hopefully this is better than the last one. Oh, for crying out loud.
That'll be a no then.
That's just powder. That is the worst pork pie. So we have put some electrolytes in the water for the birds because it is a warm day.
This seems like a perfect place to pause and say, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to watch more of the channel.
Will it be the boys? Will it be the girls? Darlow 94 get here first. Will it be Zidane 98? Now this is kind of cheating. I've got one dropper, and that's because I do want to place in a decent position in the club if I can. So we want to get the first bird down as soon as possible. And what we do is we use this bird. As soon as I see the birds arrive, or the first bird arrive, I'll let her go. She'll fly straight to the loft, and she encourages, or should in theory encourage, whichever bird it is first back to come and land, because it sees this one, sees it's safe, doesn't mess about doing laps and losing time. It should come straight in. However, I'm notoriously bad at doing that, and so is she. Let's get you out, shall we, sweetheart? Right, you know the drill.
Despite the experiment we're running, it's still a real race, so as the expected arrival time nears, nerves increase.
Nervous now. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Almost 2 hours now, 54.
A few minutes later than I expected, I caught sight of the first bird, but I forgot to turn my camera on, so I was slightly concerned that my run to the camera had spooked it.
Where's it gone? Come on. Come on. Yearling, is that a hen? It's a hen. Yearling hen. 7/320, that's Charlie's gold ring bird. Well done. Hens win it. Girls quicker. Here's another one. Come on. Come on. Who's that? No, that's cock. That's Archie's. That's the Belgian bird. That's Alexander's bird from Belgium. S. That's a boy, one for the girls, one for the boys. Come on. You buggers. Here's another two. Come for a lap. A dark ghoul, yeah.
The birds were coming in thick and fast, but still wary of any record trapping.
Come on. $1.94, I think that was. Come on then. Come on. I don't think one of them's mine. Is that 98? Come on. Don't know who that other one is. I don't think that's mine. I think that one is a straggler. Just come in with mine. Yeah, that's not mine. Here's another one. Blow me neck, he's high.
Once the first few birds are safely in, I'm treated by some of the birds as they dive down from the skies. Other than clocking a winning bird, this is probably the bit I enjoy the most.
Who's come down for one of them? Come on. Come on. Hen. Oh. So far the girls are twice as good as the boys. So 28 minutes after the first bird arrived, we've now got half of them back, which is pretty good. They'll probably start coming a bit slower from now on. If they've overflown, they've got to turn around, and well, at least they'll have a tailwind.
Well, it turned out that little hen, 320, was the first one back to the loft and managed to pick up 10th place in the Federation and second in the club, missing out on first by less than a second. As for the question which are faster, hens or cocks, 84% of you that voted said the hens, so you were right. Or were you?
Right, so we have the results. This is interesting. Of the top 10 birds back, 5 were hens and 5 were cocks. And the top 5 hens averaged a velocity of 1,322 yards per minute, and the cocks 1,305. That's of the top 10. So the hens averaged 45.07 miles per hour, and the cocks were about half a mile per hour off that. Now, when we look at the top 20, we found actually the team of hens was slower. So they were 1,202 yards per minute, and the cocks were 1,216. The cocks were 41.47 miles per hour, and the hens were 41 miles per hour, dead on. When you look at that, it says that the fastest hens were faster than the fastest cocks, but the average for the teams were cocks were slightly faster than the hens.
Now I can already hear the furious typing of scientifically minded fanciers thumping their response into the comment section. Actually, I think you'll find your system was biased towards the males.
And yes, you're totally right. To really nail this experiment would require far more time and resources than I can actually muster. But that being said, other than the yearlings, half of the hens haven't even raced last year. The last 18 months, most of my focus has been on the widowhood system, on getting the boys into shape. The hens have been something of an afterthought, really.
So on the face of it, that tells me one of two things.
Either I've completely failed in dedicating my time to get the most out of the cocks, or the girls are just faster than the boys. But more likely it's down to multiple things, variables that I haven't accounted for or can't control. But one thing's for sure though, I'm going to be spending more time on the hens for the rest of this season.
If you'd enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and watching more of my channel.